Honkai Star Rail has gotten lazy, and I just can't shake the feeling that history is repeating itself. It's not that incendiary of a take to say that HSR was in a better state in its first few patches than it is right now. It's as if we're regressing. Does this sound familiar? Now, don't get me wrong. Emphorius is shaping up to be one of the best planets we have ever visited from a narrative perspective, but it also has the potential to be one of the worst. I just don't want another Sumeru situation where HSR starts to stagnate. Some of you in here might be thinking, there's just no way that early Star Rail is better than how Star Rail is now. Well, let's just take a look then. When HSR first got released, it seriously felt like a community event. People were making meme videos, discussing optimal strategies for Memory of Chaos. Seela was still tier 0. It was an exciting time to be a gacha addict. A month later, most players have already finished the story and were eager for more. That's when the special program for version 1.1 was announced, and it was a big moment because we knew that this would set the stage for things to come. While the events themselves were nothing to write home about, we still got plenty of interesting updates, like a free-to-play Lycone and 4 different companion story quests, when they were actually good. Luotra's story quest was genuinely hilarious, and Yangqi's story introduced intriguing characters like Jing Liu. It was the only version update that didn't get a Trailblaze continuance quest, however, it was still revered in a positive light, and that's not even going the best part. We got hit with a big surprise of Gift of Odyssey, which as you guys know is a free limited tentpole. This was massive news because Genshin Impact, the game prior, only gave this kind of reward during special kind of events like Lantern Rite, which is Chinese New Year, or an anniversary. If that. Fast forward several months later, the honeymoon phase of HSR begins to expire. Even though we got some great patches like finishing the Luofu arc and Swarm Disaster, there just wasn't much to look forward to. Or so we thought. On version 1.4, Star Rail dropped the greatest event that we have ever seen, Ethereum War. You know, the Pokemon events. That was quite literally a game changer. It took assets that were already in the game and used them in a fun and innovative way that we have not seen yet. The community was overjoyed to see a breath of fresh air finally being added to the game, myself included. I started sketching all sorts of ideas that could come with this game mode and how it could improve. They could rerun this event in upcoming planets in 2.0, add a multiplayer like co-op or versus. So, what became of this event? Completely forgotten. What? Okay, sure, you can still access it so other new players can experience it for themselves, but that's not the point. Why wouldn't you capitalize on something that was met with thunderous applause? Such wasted opportunity. I don't know. Rant over. While we wait for version 2.0, Hoyo decides to drop one of the most diabolical bombshells we have ever seen. A free, limited time character.
What the fuck?
I think we covered all the content for version 1.6.
What the fuck? No fuck.
I think we covered all the content for version 1.6. Thank you once again to our 3 geniuses for their support. I think we covered all the content.
Are you kidding me? Are you shitting me?
The term Genshin could never began to aggressively trend because Dr. Ratio was given out to everyone completely for free. This set a new standard for not only just Hoyoverse, but gacha companies to follow. When you do right by your players, they will do right by you, and word by mouth will spread like wildfire. It was around this time that 3 years, 3 pulls arc was still going on, but that could be an entire whole video. It was a remarkable marketing strategy. With Penacony right around the corner, Hoyoverse knew that no one would pull for this character, so they decided to be the cool parents for once and give him away completely for free. This causes Star Rail to gain more and more traction and build hype for the new region to come. And just when we thought hype levels couldn't be any higher, HSR devs drop this masterclass music video. This right here is how you create anticipation and excitement in the community. They knew that all eyes were on HSR and they needed to bring their A game. This music video is littered with spoilers and things to speculate. This caused content creators to make podcasts and hypothesize what to expect from the new region. This got me so excited, I quite literally started my own YouTube channel right when Penacony dropped because even I wanted to get in on the action. Star Rail stonks were on an all-time high, and it seemed like they were on top of the world. At least, that's what we wanted to believe. It was around this time that the cracks began to show. In version 2.1, the first major issue was introduced: power creep. Although the purpose of gacha games have always been to incentivize you on rolling for the new characters, this was especially the case with her. By making her kit so powerful, you can essentially throw her on most enemies and she will obliterate them all. To make matters worse, word was going around that if you acquire her Lycone, and especially a few Eidolons, she would be unstoppable. So rather than pull in for the characters you actually wanted to save for, you were now pressured into pulling characters in fear of falling behind. But that was only the start. Characters like Adventurine, who with a press of a skill could shield the entire team for practically half Japard's ultimates, or Robin essentially introduced a brand new meta with follow-up, and Boothill absolutely vaporized any boss in the game. But thank goodness he's only limited to physical toughness, right? Wrong! His ultimate simply allows him to implant weakness on whatever he wants to. And then the queen of DPS herself, Miss Firefly. Hoyoverse knew that she was a highly anticipated character amongst everyone. If they messed up on this character, they knew that there was going to be outrage. So what did they do? They made Firefly break the game. No pun intended. Firefly's power scaling became so high that it completely eclipsed every other character in the entire game. Not to mention that Harmony Trailblazer, a completely free-to-play character, pairs perfectly with her. So now with having a major problem that every new character that's being released would devalue other characters and worst case, make them obsolete. The Star Rail devs continue to introduce a problem, then provide the solution via purchasing the new character, or getting their Eidolons even. This is becoming a massive issue, especially with HP inflation on the way. There's no innovative events being added like Ethereum War, and the story continues to get dry. People are beginning to question if Star Rail is starting to fall off. Well, they're pretty good at hyping up the future, like the Fate collab, but that was announced a year in advance, almost to the point where it's comical that they announced it so early. Don't worry guys, next update will be better. Don't worry guys, next region will be better. I've played these games before! There's nothing wrong with bringing excitement to what's to come in the future of the game. However, it's gotta deliver whenever the time comes. I mean, look at this trailer. This looks like one of the coolest trailers that we've even gotten on HSR, and I question if I was even looking at the same game. However, when we finally got our hands on Euphorius, it was disappointing. The story of Euphorius was great, but the way that it tells its story is just awful. It hasn't been a new issue. Yapping has always been a problem. However, the main issue is that nothing has happened to rectify this. They haven't changed the formula to its storytelling, and it's beginning to show. Look at Zen Zone Zero for example. Sometimes the story is told in a comic book style, and it's pleasant to look at. Not everything needs to be a super fancy animation to catch our attention. The worst of it is when there's a bunch of dialogue bloat, especially from a random NPC that we just don't care about. So why not add a skip button added into the game? It's in ZZZ and in Wuthering Waves, so there's no reason that it shouldn't be added. From a gameplay perspective, it's only gotten worse. It's really just pair the follow-up with follow-up, or pair summon characters with summon support. If you don't have X, Y, and Z characters, then you might as well not even pull on the next limited banner. As of this recording of this video, Agalia is about to be released. If you don't have Sunday, and to a lesser extent, Huahua, she is going to feel significantly weaker. It's as if you're missing pieces to a puzzle. It's like I mentioned, I feel like history might be repeating itself, and I don't want Honkai Star Rail to fall into complacency. What happened to all of the excitement? Where are the innovative events? It's like I hardly even recognize this game anymore, and not in a good way. I'm making this video because I care, not to tear it apart. I will praise the things that are great and critique any changes that need to be made. I could make comparisons to Genshin and how it declined in quality as well, but this video is long as is. If you guys want to see the Genshin version of this, then comment down below and let me know. If you made it this far, thank you so much for hearing me out until the end. But what do you guys think? What would you like to see changed in HSR? I plan on making more original content going forward, so if you want to see more videos like this, then subscribe for more. I'll see you next time. Later.